Happy New Year, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all had a great Christmas break. I definitely did. This is the first time I've picked my guitar up in 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, I haven't been completely without music. My debut single for my solo project was released on the 12th of December. Or the 13th, I can't remember the exact date, but it's out now. So if you want to go check it out, the video for it, there's a playthrough video on my YouTube channel. It's called Why Wait. It's also out on all streaming platforms, so if you want to find the link in the bio, you can download it or have a listen to it there. That'd be great. I've got the second single coming out in February. I'll give a release date on that soon. But yeah, check out the first one before the second one comes out. And also, if you could do me a massive favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel, that'd be amazing, because I'm aiming for that small milestone of 1,000 subscribers, and we're not far off now. But anyway, the topic of the moment is still John Mayer X, the plugin from Neural DSP. I haven't had much time to play any more with it since you saw my last video, if you saw my last video. And also, I kind of want to leave it alone until it gets ported over to the Quad Cortex. I'm really kind of happy with how I set up my gain staging in the QC. And after some videos that I saw recently of gain staging with a plugin and an interface, I kind of question myself, and I don't know if I'm doing it right. So there's those videos, I don't know if you've seen them, probably, I think they were a year ago, where a few YouTubers were talking about making sure you do add some input gain on your interface, depending on how much maximum input gain there is on an interface. I don't know, it's too techie for me. That's the exact reason why I'm kind of waiting for it to go onto the QC, because I know what I'm doing in there. I've got my meters showing me my input gain and my output gain, and then it's just really easy to record with. So yeah, I want to do a comparison of things like the John Mayer plugin compared to the Dumble model that's in the Quad Cortex, the Overdrive Special, but I don't feel like I'll be doing it correctly. I want to make sure they're both in the same unit and I'm gain staging correctly before I can show a true comparison of that. So this video is more going to be based on how to capture tones within a plugin. So I did this with a Mateus Asato plugin when it first came out. I love Mateus. I think he's the coolest guitarist of the moment, and I'm really excited for his album that's coming out. And I was really excited for the plugin, and I wasn't using plugins at the time. I was using my Victory amp, pedal board, and I'd kind of moved away from plugins for many, many years. I used to use them all the time, and I used to use the Line 6 stuff. But yeah, I moved away from it, and I thought I'd give this one a trial. So I downloaded it, and I was blown away. I didn't realize how good digital had got in the 7 years, something like that, since I'd been using plugins. And essentially, that's what made me buy the Quad Cortex. Now, I was just starting to write my EP, the one I mentioned earlier, or the first single that's come out from that EP I mentioned earlier. And I had to get some other plugins, so I used like the Pliny, Parallax, stuff that was a bit more important or necessary rather than luxury at the time. And then I thought, let me try capturing the presets that I like from the Mateus Asato plugin, just to see how it worked, really. And it worked really well. There was one preset in particular that I used for ages on my QC. It was the OG Shell Pink. There's 2 of them. I liked the first one. And it's just real good edge of breakup sound. And I used that for ages, and that was a capture. So that's on my Neural DSP Cortex Cloud link. That's in the description of this video. So if you want to download that and check that out, you can, or you might have the plugin already. So yeah, I thought it'd be a good idea to show you exactly how I capture plugins. Now, this video is just going to be about that. I'm going to show you how I capture it. There are loads of different ways. I'm only going to show you my way because that's all I know. But essentially, I'm using PreSonus Quantum HD8 interface, and that does have reamp outputs on it. So if you're doing it with an interface or a separate interface to the QC, you probably will need a reamp box unless it's got reamping involved in it like mine does. But I also know there is a way, or I'm pretty sure there is a way, that you can reamp when you use your Quad Cortex as an interface. I don't know how to do it because I don't use that as an interface, but ChatGPT, I don't know, you'll find a way. So yeah, essentially you're using your interface and your DAW with the plugin loaded as the amp within the setup when you're doing a capture. I assume you've done a capture before, but I'm just going to show you it anyway, so you'll see how I'm setting the capture up. I'll do some screen grabs. And then at the end, I'll show you a comparison video. I'll play a bit of music with me playing the plugin, exactly how it is, and the capture of the plugin, so you can see how similar they are. Now, one thing to mention is I am only going to be doing the default preset on the John Mayer plugin, mainly because I just want that trio of amps with the cabs. I don't really want anything else colouring it. And also, when you're capturing, you don't really want to have any ambient effects on, so you don't want any reverb on, delay, chorus. So I'm going to turn that tremolator off and any overdrive pedals. Sorry, my throat is really dry today. We could probably capture the overdrives on their own, bypassing the amps later. But for the sake of this video, I'm only going to show the amp as default. And then I'll probably put a clon or a blues breaker in front of it. Just captures that I found on the cloud. We'll just have to wait for the individual effects once that plugin gets ported over soon. So I was going to do a video of me, I did mention this in one of my other videos recently, of me capturing my Victory V40 amp and how I do a capture, especially now with this V2 capture. But I just thought this would be a bit more topical, and I'm sure there's some people out there that don't realise they can actually capture plugin sounds. So yeah, we can get onto that another time. If you really want that video, just drop me a comment. And yeah, also drop me a comment if you have any other things that you want me to show you that I'm doing with the QC or capturing or my amp setup. Also, if you like what you hear on my single and you're wondering if there's anything in there that I did with the QC specifically, or any tones, just let me know. And yeah, this capture I'm also going to be putting in the cloud as well, so that link is in the description and you can try it out for yourself or just capture it yourself. You may get better results than I do. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to do some screen grabs and talk over exactly what I'm doing with the capture, and then I'll play a comparison video, me showing you the two. Okay, so we want to start off with a blank preset, nothing on there, and then you're going to go over here, neural capture. You can obviously do this on the QC as well, but yeah, we're going to go for neural capture version 2. And then this will take us through our setup. So plug your instrument into input 1. We've done that. Connect headphones or output 1 and 2, output 3 and 4 for monitoring. So yeah, this is just standard. This is what you're going to be doing anyway whenever you're playing the QC. The first 2 points are pretty obvious. Connect capture out to the input of your target device. So I'm going with a normal instrument cable. I'm going capture out on the back of the QC into input 1, which is a high Z input, guitar input on my interface. Position your mic in front of the cabinet, ignore that, connect it to input 2 on the quad Cortex. So this is the important part. In the plugin, which I have loaded on this channel, as you can see, I've turned off, I've kept the boost on, everything else is off, spring reverb's off, compressor and EQ are on, and then delay and studio verb are off. So it's just a pure, clean capture of these 3 amps and cabs with the normal blend going on. So yeah, this is the default preset. Now in Ableton, what I do is I click external out in the outputs here, and I go to 11 because that is my reamp output on my interface. Okay, so it's going to be sending the plugin to this output. Okay, so it's not going to my monitors anymore. It's going to wherever I'm plugging into from my reamp output 1. Okay, which is input 2 on my QC. Okay, so that's the important bit. Now what you'll see I've done on the plugin as well, I've kept the input gain the same, and I've gone plus 3.2 dB on my output, and I'll show you why I'm doing this in a sec. So we click next. Once everything's connected correctly, you can proceed with creating your capture. Okay, so this point. So I've got cab sim on just so I can listen to it and hear everything's okay. Now input 1 level. Okay, this is my input 1, what I'm plugging my guitar into, and I'm using a Strat for this. Now I know for a fact every time I plug my Strat into the QC, I need about 6 decibels of input. Okay, because that gets me to the level I want just before it starts going into the red. So if I plug a guitar in, you can see that level there. Good level, not going into the red. If I went slightly higher than that, now I'm in the red. So I know that's a good setting for me. Now the reason why I've gone plus in the plugin, so the output of the plugin, is so that this level can match this one. I don't know if this is right, but it's worked for me so far. I could obviously up it on here. Maybe that's more correct to do, but I've just done it in the plugin. It's just the output. It's probably exactly the same thing. But yeah, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong and if I should do the captures a different way. But if you look at both levels now, they're near enough the same throughout. I could probably put a bit more output on this, but for me, that's fine. In fact, no, yeah, let's put plus 1 dB on here. See, I'm questioning myself now whether I should just use this or this. But yeah, I'm using both anyway. I'm sure it's fine. Gain staging. Fun. Anyway, Cortex control. Yeah, I'd say that's all good. That's just for listening purposes. You can turn it off if you're not listening and you're just going for it. Metadata. So we'll go guitar. This is an amp and cab. And this is John Mayer X default. Start capture. Now, when you do this, mute your interface. You don't want all those weird noises coming through your expensive studio monitors at a really loud volume. So yeah, this will just be running normal stuff from the output of your interface, which is routed through the plugin. And it's just sending it back and forth, sending signals through that plugin and then back into your quad Cortex to feed it the information. And it's just going to make a capture of that preset sound. At the end of it, it's really cool. You can listen to an A/B of the two, and that's where you can really kind of hear the difference between the two sounds. Or the not so much difference, which is what you want essentially, isn't it? You don't want any difference really. You want that capture to sound exactly like the plugin, and then you've got it in your QC. Now, doing this for loads of different presets, it can take some time. Like, what is it, 10 minutes, something like that for a V2 capture? Maybe a little bit more. That was for a V1 capture, actually. This might take a bit longer. But no, I think it's I think it's a quick way of doing it, but when you're trying to capture like every preset in the plugin, that can be a bit of a nightmare. And also, you know, turning off all of the ambient effects, if you're not capturing those, and then maybe taking a screen grab of or a screenshot of the settings of those effects pedals that are in the plugin that you want to then add later, that can be a lot of effort. So I tend to just go by my ear. I'll nab the amp and the cab sim that I like, and then I'll I'll just throw in some different blocks from the QC until they port the ones from the plugin into it. But then we got the presets in there anyway then, so it makes no odds. So yeah, let's skip this ahead a bit. I'll wait until the capture's done. Boom, so there it is. Okay, so we got the A/B test, the quad Cortex and the reference. So that's the quad Cortex that's just captured, the plugin, and this is the cab sim on reference. So that is the plugin. Quad Cortex. Like literally no difference whatsoever. Let's try a different pickup. Okay, and then obviously you can set a timer so it switches between the two. Yeah, I can't tell much difference between those two at all. So yeah, once you're happy with that, save neural capture, and you are done. And then all you got to do is on your empty channel, output 3 and 4 is me. You're going to go to your neural capture, blocks, my captures, and look for John Mayer X default. There it is. Okay, and then you've got your capture. You can save yourself a preset, put on some reverbs and stuff. What I'll do is whatever I put on it now to create the demo of me showing some music being played with the plugin, and then A and B in it with the capture we've just done. Whatever I'm using on that, I will leave on the preset and then upload that to the cloud so you can try it out yourself. But yeah, I mean, there's your block. The default sound from the John Mayer X plugin, and completely bare. If you just want that and then do what you want to it, that's absolutely fine. But that's kind of all we got until they port it over with PCOM or PCOM, whatever it is. But yeah, that's how we do a capture. Pretty straightforward. I think it's good with clean sounds. I'm not sure so much with the distorted sounds. I have had some luck, but I have found that to be a bit more temperamental. Like some of the John Petrucci ones were great, some of them not so much. I don't know if that's my capture skill, but yeah, it's something to try out and experiment for yourself. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you liked the video. Also, check out my single, the debut single, Why Wait by Joe Garrett, because the next single is coming soon and you want to check out the playthrough of this one first. So yeah, see you in the next video.